Look, some big games tonight, or average games.
Well, they weren't the greatest.
It wasn't the greatest. I mean, it's all building up to tomorrow, really. But look, Brighton played out 0-0 with Nottingham Forest. We watched the game.
Mm-hmm. Had chances first half, Brighton.
Oh, they look average, didn't they?
They
all of a sudden, they look really average.
Well, look, the first game they had after Potter left was Liverpool away. They took a 2-0 lead. And they look good. They look fabulous in that first 40 minutes, 45 minutes. I mean, they passed Liverpool off the pitch. And in the end, deserved a point. Liverpool got themselves back into it, but absolutely deserved a point. And they don't quite look the same side. They've had a managerial change. It's the biggest decision a club will ever make, is who do you employ to be your manager? How do you take forward what Graham Potter's done a brilliant job? Yeah. How do you move that forward? Because really, Brighton... You can make a very good case that they're punching above their weight the last couple of years. Best finish Potter. Ever in the top division under Potter. And they just seem to be struggling a little bit. You know, they had chances though first half. If they won that 1-0, yeah, maybe.
It's difficult though, isn't it? Because a lot of times when managers leave, it's because it's gone pear-shaped.
That's right.
And the players have lost the dressing room. It's not going well. The fans get on their back. And then it's time for a change. Yeah. So a new manager come in, you get the new manager bounce, change things to look up, and then you kick on again. The problem that Brighton have got was Graham Potter was an amazing manager for him, and he didn't get the sack. He left, and he's gone to Chelsea, and he's doing a good job there. So they've lost the top-class manager. So the new managers come in, and the problem he's got to deal with is that all them players are Graham Potter's players who loved Graham Potter, loved the style of play, and loved everything about it. Yeah. So it's really difficult for a new manager to come in to set his own philosophy. And I just feel like there's just a list. They lost a little bit of oomph and a little bit of sharpness and a little bit of Graham Potter.
I agree with that. That little zip that they had, 1 and 2 touch, little triangles on the edge of the box, moving the ball beautifully through the thirds, possession-based football team, creating chances. I mean, really, Brighton were under. If there's one criticism you had under Potter was that how wasteful they were in front of goal. And you can make a very good case, say, well, that's not down to him, it's down to perhaps the players, because they get themselves in good areas. Tonight was kind of not the very best performance we've seen from Brighton, but had chances. Brighton had enough chances that first half to win that game. And they didn't take them. And that has been a familiar tale, even under Potter going back 2 or 3 seasons. Play really well, dominate the game, be the best side, come away with regrets.
Not this season, though.
No, not with this season. No, not this season. But there was elements of that today, I felt. There was elements of a little bit of that still. And De Zerbi has got a very good team, technically very gifted side, will run and work all day. You're not going to be worried about the work rate you get. You're never going to be concerned about what kind of performance you get in terms of effort, because they do that naturally. Just seem to have lost a little bit of their sparkle, that little... just the edge they had, just not quite as moving as slick as they were. Now, I don't know. You need Brighton fans to really tell us how much of a difference. But looking from the outside in, that's just what I've noticed.
Right, well, Brighton fans want to hear from you. What about Nottingham Forest? Really struggling. They've got 6 points from 11 games. Cooper's got a new deal. But again, tonight, change the team, new players come in, and it just does. They can't buy a win.
No, they can't. It's not the worst point in the world. The penalty miss they had midweek was a massive. Sorry, the weekend was a massive miss. Yeah, to go to Wolves and that would. Then you pick up another point. There's 3 draws on the spin. You want to start turning those draws into victories, but away from home, it's not the worst point in the world. Okay, bearing in mind where Brighton are. But they can't keep. They need to turn those draws into results, mate. They need to pick up 3 points, and it's been a brutal awakening back into the Premier League. We know how brutal this league is. We now they didn't lose tonight, so that's not the worst thing in the world. But they got to, when they get at home, they got to start turning those results around and picking up 3 points. Otherwise, they will be in the bottom 3 for the rest of the season.
Do you think they'll go down?
You wouldn't bet against it, would you, right now? No. You wouldn't, would you?
No, they're struggling. They really are. Another team who was struggling, Wolves, they lost to Palace 2-1. Traore got the opener, went 1-0 up, and then lose the game. Zaha played very well, scored the winner. Was fantastic tonight. Some of his play on the ball and the way he shields it and brings others in. I'm worried for Wolves, Jace.
I understand why. Yeah, they need a manager. They need some stability quick.
because they got the result against Nottingham Forest at the weekend, but they weren't great.
No.
They weren't great.
No, they could have dropped points there as
They
well.
should have dropped points, really. They got away with it because Nottingham Forest missed a penalty, but they wasn't good. But in terms of the overall play from them, tonight, again, they get beat. You know, they're down there, 17th place, 9 points. They could be another team that could be going down.
Well, they can't score goals, mate. 5 goals in 11 games, that's all they've got. They're going down. You need to be out of turn. They've got Diego Costa in, huffed and puffed, not the Diego we saw 6 years ago at Stamford Bridge. Obviously, they've had problems up front with injuries, and this is going to be a massive next 3 or 4 weeks before the World Cup, because they've got to try and get the new manager in. They've got to try and get some sort of stability there, because they've got some really good individual players. But right now, they're heading in one direction, mate. They cannot score. By the way, can we just have a special mention for Wilf Zaha tonight? He was absolutely magnificent. I mean, that how he's really never got that. I know he went to United, but I just wonder, is that opportunity for a top 4 Champions League? Because when he played like tonight, he looks the sort of player that would relish into a Champions League spot. Wouldn't look out of place in a Spurs shirt, Chelsea's, that kind of player, right? Don't think he gets into Liverpool's or City's, but I think that what we're looking at right now is a player that could have a big impact. Physically,
Would you rather have Jack Grealish or Zaha?
Yeah, good point, actually. Very good question. I think that the Grealish hasn't quite... No, it's a good question. But Zaha is he's had that step up to United, and it probably came a little bit too soon for him in his career. But tonight he was magnificent, honestly. There was a piece of skill about midway through the second half where there's 3 or 4 players around him. Physically, he gets bullied out the ball once, then he uses his frame, his footwork, sole of the foot, instep, outstep, lovely little dummies, use of the body, comes away with the ball. And it was a battle that went on for about 10 seconds between him and 3 players, and he came out on top. He is one of those players that gets you off your seat. He's why we watch football.
Yeah.
That type of player.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Well, would you rather have Zaha or Jack Grealish? 03717 22 33 44. Let's go to Andy, who's a Nottingham Forest fan. Andy, good evening.
You're right, Jay. You're right, Jason.
Yeah.
All right, Andy.
Andy, what did you make of it tonight? I mean, look, you got a draw. You picked up a point. But you're running out of them ones in the early season where you can go, all right, we move on, we kick on, we learn from it. You really need to start getting some wins.
Yeah, no, I agree. Defensively tonight, I think we were actually, well, I won't say quality, but we were better, is what I will say. Mm-hmm. Going forward, we're just not very good. You get the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White and Brendan Johnson who are good going forward. But how long is it going to take them to be on the same wavelength, to be able to progress and go forward every time and every game? Kayate coming on for Mangala was, I understand he's still coming back from injury. Don't play him if he's still injured. Don't bring him on if he's still recovering, because if he takes an extra knock, and I understand Forest fans will be like, oh, that's somewhat stupid, but if he regains that knock that he's just got off and comes back into the starting line so early, risking another knock very early on.
Andy, do you think the problem that Cooper's got at the minute is, you know, he signed a lot of players. We spoke about it loads, and he just can't find a way to get the right team and get the right gel.
Yeah, I said at the start of the season with what is it, 23, 24 players you brought in, that it's going to take them. You know, you don't just. It's not a Sunday thing where you just turn up, play with each other for 90 minutes and clear off. They train with each other every day. So should it take 10, 15 games for them to gel? You know, they train with each other every day. They see each other every day. Mm-hmm. Is it take that long to really see the development in the squad?
Yeah, well, they're struggling.
It does look bad. Like I was saying to some other fans, like, okay, we've had 3 straight defeats, something like that. I want to say 5 games where we haven't won, something stupid like that. But if you take those draws, no matter how early it is into the season, how late into the season, that draw then is built up. I understand we didn't do that against Wolves. We lost to Wolves. We didn't play great. In fact, no.
We've lost Andy. We've lost you there, but we get your points.